You're here to hear about Isaac Newton, aren't you? Well, I'm here. Let's get this thing started. Here we go. Let's get this started. So, Isaac Newton. He was a renowned scientist, physicist, and mathematician, as you know. And, before we jump into that, how about we start where he began when he was born? So, Isaac Newton was born on January 4th, 1643. That is in our modern day calendar. In his day, they were using the Julian calendar. So he was born in their day on December 25th, 1642. He was born to a Puritan family that lived in Woolsthorpe, which is in Lincolnshire, near Grantham in the UK. His mother was Hannah Icecoff Newton, and his father was also named Isaac Newton. Isaac Newton's mother married 63-year-old Barnabas Smith and abandoned Isaac Newton. Isaac Newton was raised by his maternal grandparents until he was 12. When his mother came back after Barnabas Smith died, she came back with 3 other children. He was in the King's School in Grantham until he was 12, when his mother pulled him out when she got back and wanted him to run the farm as his father did that he never knew. Isaac failed at this miserably because he found this farming repetitive and monotonous, and because he discovered the amazing world of chemistry when he was in the King's School. So his mother put him in, after he miserably failed farming, back into the King's School, where he finished his basic education. After Isaac finished his basic education, his uncle, who graduated from the University of Cambridge's Trinity College, convinced Isaac Newton's mom, Hannah, to enroll him into the university. When Isaac's mother enrolled him in the school, she didn't just pay for it and let him go to school. She enrolled him into a work-study-like position at the school, where he waited on tables and cleaned the wealthier students' rooms. When he was in school, the scientific revolution of the 17th century was already in full swing. Whilst his first few years at the Cambridge School, he was taught the standard curriculum. But Isaac was so interested and captivated by the more advanced sciences, he spent all of his spare time reading all of the modern published writings of the people then. While Isaac Newton was at the University of Cambridge Trinity College, he had a second pair of notes labeled, also known as Certain Physiological Questions, that revealed that he had come across a new notion of nature that laid the foundation for the scientific revolution. Even though these questions didn't land him honors in the college, he was able to get a full ride of financial support for 4 years for his future education. In 1665, the University of Cambridge closed down for 2 years due to the bubonic plague coming to the university and Cambridge. Now, when Isaac Newton came back, he found a book and read a book written by Nicholas Mercator on the methods of dealing with infinite series. After reading the book, he quickly wrote his treatise labeled this treatise expounded on Isaac Newton's wider range of results. After he wrote it, he went to his friend and mentor, Isaac Burrow, and showed it to him. But he did not tell Burrow that he wrote it. Now, on June of 1669, Burrow showed the work of Isaac to a well-known British mathematician named John Collins. But in August of the same year, Burrow identified the author of the article as Mr. Newton. After Burrow identified the work to John Collins as it was Isaac's work, this is when Isaac's work came known to the mathematic community. A little while after that, Burrow resigned his position as Lucian professorship at Cambridge, and Isaac took that position. Isaac Newton just didn't come up with the notions in nature. He also came up with the theory that white light is made up of all colors in the spectrum, and that light is made up of particles. He also developed the essential theories of calculus along with Gottfried Wilhelm von Leibniz. Isaac Newton wasn't just a theories and paperman. He was also an inventor. He came up with the reflecting telescope to help him prove his theory on lights and particles, of light being made up of particles. In 1668, he designed and built the telescope. After he built the telescope, the Royal Society in 1667 asked Isaac for a demonstration of his reflecting telescope. Ultimately, this encouraged Isaac Newton to publish his notes on lights, optics, and color in the year 1672. He published his notes as part of Newton's Optics, or a treatise of reflections, refractions, inflections, and colors of light. Not everyone at the Royal Society was super happy and agreed with Newton. One in particular man named Robert Hooke was very adamant about his disagreement with Isaac because he had his own theory that light was made up of waves. Robert Hooke wasn't the only person in the Royal Society denying Isaac's theories. He was followed by a Dutch scientist named Christian Hughes and a number of other French Jesuits who just denounced Isaac's work. As a result of all the criticism that Isaac was receiving, he went into a rage and at one point threatened to leave the Royal Society. A few months later, Isaac broke into a nervous breakdown and just blew up. It didn't help that Isaac's mom passed away a year later after he blew up because of Robert Hooke. As a result of his mom passing, he went into isolation for 6 years. He had a few correspondents, but he always kept them short with the people, and he just cut himself off. Now, when he turned 80 years old, Isaac was experiencing digestion problems and had to switch his diet. But he died at the age of 84 because he was experiencing severe pain in his abdomen and blacked out and never regained consciousness. He died on March 31st, 1727. Isaac's fame just grew more and more after he passed. Many of his friends said he was the smartest man in the world. That might be an exaggeration, but he was. He was a very smart man. Most of his discoveries were held up to those of Plato, Aristotle, and Galileo. But some of Isaac's key points were proven wrong in the 20th century by the famous Albert Einstein. In his later life, he was asked for an assessment of his achievements. His reply was, "I do not know what I may appear to the world, but to myself I seem to have been only like a boy playing on the seashore, and diverting myself now and then in finding a smoother petal and a prettier shell than ordinary, while the great ocean of truth lay all undiscovered before me." This was a great paper. I learned a lot. It was a fantastic way to learn, doing research and just doing it on my own. I hope you stay safe during this whole corona stuff. Just stay healthy, stay happy, and be safe.